Hey traders, welcome back to another weekly review. Just to go you through one of my weekly routine, and this is usually where I spend hours, literally few hours, just to find out throughout the week, is there any opportunity that I personally missed out. I don't think I've done this before. I did talk about a weekly review, but it's not as in-depth as this one, so this video is probably going to be like 20 minutes plus. We're going to go through DXY, JPYX, gold, and all of these pairs to really run through what have we did correctly, what kind of opportunity have we sort of missed out. So first, let's have a look at the DXY. So on all of these pairs, I've put on a vertical line. That vertical line is just beginning of the week. So as you all can see, this entire week we started with that aggressive meltdown on the DXY so this week when the week started, I was expecting some follow through to the downside, but so far I would still say the market has been really slow, not as in super slow, but really spiky, really tricky. Lots of fake outs this week. That's why a lot of you actually texted me and say this week has been tough. Is you all have to understand that the market is like a girl, right? Sometimes we experience mood swing, not just girls, sometimes guys, we experience mood swings as well. So whenever I see markets start doing all these different spies, all these probes, that's usually when I know, hey, I probably shouldn't put in too much size, because if I do that, unless I have a super wide stops, otherwise it's just easy to get stopped down. It's just easy to make a lot of silly mistakes. So if you look at the DXY, we went back to test at 105.65. I've even said in the trade calls, I say, hey, if we start seeing price rotating or rejecting that 105.65, which is here, we're expecting a sell to the downside. But guess what the market did? It sort of rejected multiple times, rolled over there. Then we just had that massive bullish candle on Thursday, I think on Thursday, New York session, pump all the way up, then we sort of just hold it there. So DXY this week, I would say there's not much movement happening. All right, weekly candle, obviously we closed bullish. We closed bullish on the weekly candle, but overall there's not much thing happening on the DXY. Overall, it's still okay, still looking short-term bearish. We'll just have to see how next week it performs. So JPYX this week was just weak. So we are technically just dropping the entire week. If you look at the 4-hour candle, 4-hour chart, we broke under that 756. Then this week we had some follow through to the downside. So pretty clear on that one. I didn't really analyze the JPYX much as well this week because it's looking a little bit grindy, a little bit too choppy for me. But this week was a good bearish week on gold. If you look at the weekly, if we remove this, see that? This week just an absolute sell-off on gold. Sort of almost no tail, which means solid body close, just bearish. So if you look at the 1 hour, what were some of the potential plays that we could have capitalized? Because this week on Monday and Tuesday, I clearly said that I'm looking for potential sells on gold. Marius took a short here from high 1988 all the way down. For me personally, I was looking for more of a second wave sell. So I was waiting for some pullback into 1974. It didn't happen. When price dropped, when it started bouncing, Thursday, Friday was when I said, hey, 1958 is not a bad short. But I don't think any of us took a short because price had that fake out. But yesterday in our setups breakdown, I still say that we're looking for clear sell to the downside. So yeah, good job to any of you who actually took the short at 1958. I think there was, from what I know, just one of you took a short, and yeah, just good job on that one. Really beautiful structure. If you look at the 2 hour, it's just clean. It's just clean bearish, right? Sells, pullback, continuation to the downside. Obviously, I did not trade this, should have traded this. Actually, in fact, when I start seeing all these FX pairs start consolidating, I could have shifted my focus on to gold a lot more, anticipating a better move, better clarity. Should have done that, but it's fine. So overall, if you look at the 4-hour, it's got bullish or bearish. I would say now it's turning back bearish, because I do use the EMAs to guide my mid to long term direction. Whenever I see prices under the 20 and the 50 on the 4-hour, the 20 and the 50 EMAs, that's just a simple filter that tells me, hey, now we're turning mid to long term bearish. I should be looking for short. So if I'm looking to trade next week, I think there is some opportunity to go short around at 1946. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Not sure if this entire pump was just a fake out. We'll have to see. Move on to AU. So Aussie dollar this entire week was just another massive sell. It also proved that last week pump was sort of fake. One of our members, Telegram name John Cena, then real name Sky, also took a short at 0.6512, somewhere around the area, was able to take it all the way down. Overall, this week on AU, that was a little bit unexpected. I have to be honest, that was unexpected for me. I was expecting, or maybe we might have a fake out, maybe we might break to the upside, not sure. But that complete hold at that sharp 0.6510 resistance, then we just reversed all the way down. That was a little bit unpredictable for me. So this week, if you basically just hold AU short from high to low, could have been an extremely green week. But yeah, I did not trade at AU, could have capitalized on that selling opportunity. Overall, that was the only thing that I would have been traded. A potential short here as well, trading the flag and then trading the pullback here, but I wasn't really focusing much on the AU. So nothing much to discuss here. AJ, was there any setup that I missed out? Not really. Overall, it's just a red wick as well, pure red wick. Sometimes when you start putting a line here, it gives you a better clue of what the market has been really doing for the entire week. And that also shows you, was there any really some high quality trade that I didn't get in, or was I distracted or whatever? Because if you look at AJ, right, first thing first was obviously the massive rollover here. That was a little bit too, that was pretty long. Halted for almost 1 day, had a massive swept to the upside, drop all the way down, then it come back, pull back, forming a resistance at 96.97. That was a potential area to go short, but that's a little bit tricky as well because we're holding above support. So to do that is a little bit against the flow. And if you remember in yesterday's setups breakdown, I said that if we see a pullback into 96.57, that's probably a good way to short it. So hope we'll get that pullback next week. If we do get that, I'm looking for some potential sell around 96.57. So EU was a pair that I felt like could have taken long. Honestly speaking, this week I've said a lot of times I'm still bullish on EU. The main thing is because price is holding above this key daily support. See that? So that's the main reason why I've been talking about bullish long opportunities on EU. And I really love the fact that you see price pull back really deep, because last week was a massive pump on EU. If you put, there's about 230 pips weekly range, massive pump. Then this week we sort of have a 40%, 30-40% pullback, which is normal. And we talked about price holding above that 106.62, because on Thursday when price started forming that flag, when price started forming the sort of the flag, if you put on a replay, we also talk about potential push to the upside, but price didn't respect that plan. It just sort of swept the downside. If you're talking about liquidity, we swept the pool here. Then price proceeded on grabbing the high there, then reverse all the way down. Then again, grabbing this low here with this tail, and then reversing all the way up. So tricky market. So overall EU, I will still say this week, one of the biggest, I don't say regret, but one of the cleanest setup to trade was actually EU. Because if I this week simply just take long around this 106.63, for example, if I see price started forming a fake out here, a double bottom, if I take long, targeting the high, would have been beautiful. Then maybe I take a small loss there, then it come back. Yesterday, if I was able to take a long here to the upside, that would still be quite profitable. So EU this week really was a pair that I wasn't able to fully capitalize on the clean setup, clean range here, very simple play. So this is something that I usually remind myself next time when you start seeing a clean setup, a clean trade, and kind of trade idea like this. Make sure you focus on these kind of pairs, because this kind of pair is where you get the easiest money. All right, as compared to later on, I'll go into dollar CAD position that I took yesterday, which was a loss. If you compare euro dollar with a lot of these pairs, you say AJ, GU, a lot messier, GJ messy as well. If you compare to all of these GAEA, all EU is just a lot cleaner. Why? Because we have a clean support to help us frame our entry. That sweet spot is just good. So this is something that I even noted down in my weekly review, my personal weekly review. So Euro Yen, that's not much thing I would have taken. I don't normally take setups like this. Then GU. So GU obviously is one of my favorite pair to trade. Could have taken advantage of that selling opportunity at 123.03, but I wasn't. At the same time, it's just a wrong thesis. Because I was expecting a clean push to the upside. Since last week we had that massive pump, but it just didn't respect this area, because we talked about this massive support. It just completely melted down, so that wasn't something that I would have been taking. But yeah, for any of you who likes to take advantage of this kind of clean continuation trade, that could have been an opportunity. Apart from that, no trade. Then yesterday arguably could have taken some long, but I believe, yeah, it's just a little bit tricky as well, because if you look at the 4 hour right now, we are exactly rejecting this OMSS structure. OMSS, for any of you who don't know what is OMSS, refer to our workshop. We have a workshop on Discord regarding OMSS, which is the origin of market structure shift. So I'll repeat this again. A lot of times when we cannot find, when we feel like the direction is clear, just like this one. Let's say we feel like the 4 hour direction, the intention is clear, we're bullish, but we just couldn't find price holding above some of these structures, some of these SNR levels. A lot of times price do that because it's trying to find the absolute origin of market structure shift, which is OMSS, to eventually send price further down the road, down the line. So yeah, GU overall, I will say 1 hour perspective is tricky. It's definitely not an easy pair to trade this week. If you look at the, even if you look at the 30-minute, right? Yesterday was just slow. Yes, some of you may say, hey, you could have taken advantage of these, but who would have known price would pump like this then go back up? The only thing I will say is stick to our OMSS level and just see how price respond above this 122.15. So coming next week, my full attention will still be GU. Just want to make sure price is nicely holding above that 122.15. If we're able to see more hold above it, then next week game plan on Monday should be looking for GU long. Alright, stop loss wise, I think 15 pips should be more than enough. Anticipating GU to pump back to 122.91, which was Wednesday and Thursday's high. Alright, overall on the day, even on the daily, I love the way that price is reversing here, coming back down, forming a strong weekly daily close. Just want to see if GU is really able to hold above these OMSS, because I've said this a lot of times, OMSS is always your final defense line. So if price don't even respect the OMSS, normally it will just reverse all the way. And we use the fib, we are nicely holding above the fib as well. So coming next week, I'm really interested to see if GU is really able to hold above that 122.15. This week, I'll call it no opportunity on GU at all. Pound yen this week was just messy as well. EAGA this week was an entire bullish week. I was wrong about EA and GA as well. I was expecting price to sort of test some of these intermediate structure, then start dropping. It just didn't happen. So just wrong thesis, completely wrong. GA choppy week, dollar CAD. So I took a short on dollar CAD yesterday. It was, yeah, it was a pretty good setup, A plus kind setup from my own trading plan. Price have tested that key level resistance at 138.73. Then we started forming intermediate structure in between. And the main reason why I was focusing on dollar CAD short yesterday, it was because I just love the way that when price formed this kind of triple top, multi-day, multi-week, or even multi-month, multi-year resistance, that's usually the kind of setup that will be offering you the greatest asymmetrical high risk reward. All right, so if you look at dollar CAD yesterday, it was just another tricky day for me. So normally setup like this will work. What I did was very simple. I was using this 138.14 high or 138 high to frame my entry. So when I saw that price form multiple rejections there, naturally I'll be expecting price to have some follow through to the downside. That's when I took a short position stops above these resistance high, because price have been forming, if you look at this, price have been forming clean rejection area there. And after seeing so many rejection, the setup was confirmed, A plus quality, but it just happened that it pulled all the way up to 138.50, then it came all the way down in the late New York session. So coming next week, I will still be looking to short on dollar CAD. I will be expecting price to again pull back into 138.14 before I take the sell, because again, when price is rejecting a multi-year, this is 2022 October high, see that 17th of October 2022, when price is rejecting some of these key multi-year, multi-month resistance, it just tells you that there is some opportunity to look for some swing position. So even if you look at the 4 hour, this sell off has pretty much confirmed a massive batch of passive sellers trying to accumulate their short positions near 138, 139 or 138.80. So the intention was clear. We are pretty much will just be looking for potential sell. A lot of people, when they start seeing this kind of deep pullback, they will say, hey, that's an uptrend. Not really. A lot of times it's just price wanting to go higher, because at that point when it's price starting to pull back, there's no clear structure holding price under as well. All right, so that really attracted the big boys to say, hey, not everyone is trying to short. In order to push price lower, we need to get more buy shares. So that's why price pullback really deep, trying to really grab every single liquidity pool as much as possible before it starts dropping. So I'll consider myself being stop hunted. All right, being stop hunted yesterday. Overall, it is fine. It's just one trade. And coming this week, we'll be looking for more selling opportunity on dollar CAD. As long as price hold under 138.15, I will still be looking for selling opportunity. All right, clear? So yeah, coming next week, we'll be looking for potential sell. Dollar yen this week, I will say absolutely no trade. This kind of grinding condition is totally unexpected, and that's the reason why I've said, I think hundreds of times, don't trade dollar yen. I've said so many times, dollar yen is just grinding higher and higher and higher and higher. If you want to trade, the only way you can trade this is to go long. If you try to keep going short on dollar yen, you would have been slaughtered for hundreds of times. If every single high established and you just try to go short, how many short failed attempt are you going to take before you make it work? Don't trade dollar yen, just not worth it. Then overall, yeah, that's pretty much it for our weekly review. I hope all of you learned something new. Normally I'll spend a good few hours trying to go through the entire week and really see, were there any really decent solid A plus setup that I missed out, or was there any just basically what's the main reason causing me to miss out some of these A plus quality setup. Throughout this week, I can say there's almost zero high quality setup apart from these AU short and gold short. These two were high A plus quality trade that I personally missed out. So coming next week, we'll see how it goes. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this weekly review video, and I'll talk to you later.